Welcome back, guys and girls, to OneStopTutorials.com. Alibaba here again. We're really doing well. We've understood what the div IDs, the div class means. Now let's get into the nitty gritty of building our own website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need this no more. This was just for viewing purposes. I'm going to go to the style sheet and I'm going to get rid of Harry Potter as well because Harry Potter has disappeared. So let's build this top area that I said, that the button area. That's what we're going to build first. Okay, so inside of our body, let's make some space. So inside of our body, we're going to have to make a few div IDs. Okay, what we want to make is a div space ID. Okay, hit enter, which will finish it off. And the first one I'm going to call is header underscore wrap. Okay, I tend to call a wrap or a container is something that is wrapping something. Remember in the I think it was the last tutorial before, I said that this div tag was wrapped around the actual image. Well, if I name it this, then I sort of remember this. You can name this anything, and for me, header wrap means it's wrapping around the header. My brain's a bit warped, so you can call it whatever you want. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close that just so I don't forget, because when you work with divs you might get a lot and forget. So again, I'm going to do the back bracket thing and / and it closes it. So let's have a look. There's my div. Okay, same as before. Now what I want to do is I now want to add another div ID inside of this div ID. And the way to do that is I put it in between. Okay, I do not stick it underneath the other div, otherwise it is two separate divs. So I want to stick another div space, and I want to give it an ID again, and I'm going to call this one header. Okay, so that's what I'm going to call it. This will all make sense in a bit, and I'm going to close it. And what I'm going to do is close it again, close it completely. Remember, watch what happens when I hit / it just completes it for me. So there we go, we're looking good. And then I'm going to stick one more inside of it. Another one inside of both of those. Again, I'm going to give it a div space I enter, and I'm going to call this one site underscore logo, and I'm going to close that. And I can just close it next to this one, hit / okay. So this is what we got. If we go to the design view, that doesn't look like much, but we've done a lot. Okay, so what we got is our div ID header wrap, which goes all the way to the bottom, which means anything inside of here is wrapped around the header wrap. Then we got a div ID header, and this site logo is wrapped around, is inside of that. See, this is the div ID header, and inside of that is div ID site logo. Okay, now like I say, this will all start to make sense soon. This is the reason I'm doing the top bar first, so you can sort of get a general understanding of what I'm doing. Now that little section's complete, and that is going to be the whole header area. Now what I want to do is I want to just add some little bit more code here. I want to get the links in. You remember we had what was it, home, temple, about, donation. Okay, so again, I'm going to make myself another div ID. So div space I can hit enter, and I'm going to call this one menu underscore wrap. Again, close it and close it completely, / okay, so open, close. Okay, next one I'm going to do is what should I call this one? div space ID, another ID. We love these ID. You're going to know ID so well when this is finished. Div ID, and I'm going to name this menu. Okay, and I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to close it completely like the last one, like we have done for the last two. Okay, so let's come and have a look, and again, not a lot happening. So what I want to do is I want to add those links, and the way you add links like that is you add them to a thing called an unordered list. Okay, an unordered list starts like this, is that back arrow ul unordered list, okay, forward. Okay, now what I want to do is, I'll tell you what I'm going to do quickly. I'm going to close that as well. So we've opened and closed it. It's just, as you can see, we might forget to put a div and something will go weird. Now inside of that, at the moment, an unordered list is basically I don't know if you've ever, I'll show you what it is. I'll show you right now what it is. Okay, inside of this we want to add a list. We want to add a list of links. Okay, just think of it as a list of links or a list of something. So the way to do a list, if unordered list is UL, then a list is LI, list. Okay, so that's open. So there's our list. Okay, and what I want to do just to start with, to keep this simple, just to show you, is I want to type in home. If I can type home, and I just want to close that just to show you to start with. And as you can see, this is what it is. So home is what we call the list. So, and what it means is, if I Control C this now and paste it, you'll get an understanding of what I mean by list. If we come in design view, it means it goes top, middle, bottom. It just goes downwards. List wise, it goes downwards. Okay, every time you add that, that's what happens. It will go downwards. Okay, so if you change this, okay, say you wanted to have an ordered list. An ordered list is different. Okay, an ordered list will allow you to have 1, 2, 3, 4. An unordered list allows you to have these bullets. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. An ordered list is OL. Okay, so if I type in OL and I close OL, now watch what happens. You now get 1, 2, 3. Okay, whereas in unordered list is it's just a bullet. Okay, so in our case we want an unordered list because we're going to come into the style sheet later and change it. So this is our unordered list. I want to add a home. I want to add temple. Okay, I want to add inside. And anytime you write, you can write as much as you want inside of the Lee. Just make sure it's in between the two. Okay, this one I want to name, what shall I name it? About. And then we're going to quickly make some more Lees. So back LI, close, and I'm going to type in donation, and then backslash, and last one LI, and I'm going to name this one contact us, close. Okay, and there we go. That is it. This is the HTML code that we need to build that header. That's it. That's all it is. I mean, this is what's so great about divs and styles, the actual coding, and you've got to think how big that header is and how much stuff is happening in that header, but that's all the code. That's it. We made a div header wrap. We then put the header inside of the wrap, and inside of both of these we've made a site logo. This will become more understandable as we add the style. Next thing we made was, if we come into the view, we made this div here, this whole container here. We named that menu wrap, and then inside of that we have another div ID called menu, and inside of that we have an unordered list, as I showed you before. These bullets is the unordered list, and then we have a list, and we've named the things inside of the list. In our case is home, temple, about us, donate, and contact us, and they all go downwards. Okay, this is what you do to build your basic CSS first. Okay, now this looks completely and utterly different than what we did, what the finished product was. Okay, that's where CSS comes in. That's why CSS is so important, to take something like this. Okay, and if I can just quickly open up this folder. So this, what we've just built is this whole top area. If you notice here, if I bring the properties up, here is the site logo, and inside of that is the main, if this one here is the header. Okay, this is the header wrap that we made, and then inside of that you have your buttons. Okay, and these ones are the list, and then you have under here, let me click on the div, you have your menu wrap. So everything we just made will finally, eventually make this. Okay, and like I said before, all you're using is this code. So in the next tutorial, now we've built our HTML. This is all our HTML coding for the header. Now we've finished all of this, we're going to get into the CSS next lesson, and we're going to work out to name CSS to all of these things, so we can eventually get this look. I shall see you there at the next tutorial. I know I talk fast, guys and girls, but if you've missed something, rewind, go back, send me a question. I'm trying to keep this as slow as possible. Any questions, subscribe to my YouTube, check out my website, and I shall catch you at the next one-stop tutorials. Take it easy, guys and girls.